Hi, how's it going? So tonight, there's only 3 people watching so far, so hopefully by the time I finish my explanation there'll be a few more. How are we all? Sorry, I just saw the message there. So tonight we're looking at character design, or character creation, I suppose. Obviously that's a really big topic. So tonight, tonight's not meant to be like a tutorial that you follow along and get end result out of. It'll just be, I'll be doing stuff. You can copy what I'm doing if you want to, or you can do your own thing. I'll obviously be giving some suggestions and guidance, but I really want everyone to like experiment a bit and have fun. The format, I've got some warm-up exercises that we're going to do, which may or may not work. We'll see. I mean, in terms of like streaming and delay and stuff like that, it might be a bit weird, but it'll be fun nonetheless. If you want to share any of your artwork, you can send it to steviaillustrations@gmail.com. There'll be a few little breaks here and there where I'll share what everybody's doing, and if anybody wants any particular, I don't know, critique or whatever, I'm happy to do that, but it's more just sharing and being creative and having fun, and maybe learning something in the middle there. I think that's all I need to do for the intro. Yeah, like I said, you can copy me if you want to, but you don't have to. In fact, I'd rather you didn't. But there is also, sorry, in the description, there should be a link to I'll show you. There should be a link to something that looks like this. Oops. This kind of thing. These are just some little guides that we will get to later on. There'll be a bit of me talking and a bit of you guys just going at it, hopefully. But yeah, obviously these spheres we're gonna end up talking about form and like shape in a 3D sense, but our warm-up exercise is something that's really exciting for me because I invented it. Well, I invented the exercise, I didn't invent the whole thing. But it's called blob cats. Okay? And the way it works is, what you want to do is forget all about perspective and form. This is actually the opposite of that. Don't worry about any of that detail, right? What we want to do is we just want to draw the outline of the cat that we see and add some eyes and a nose maybe. So you're basically drawing the silhouette. I'll demonstrate and then we're all going to do it together. There's the countdown timer, which is going to be, so you're only going to have 30 seconds to draw them. And then I'm going to skip to the next cat and you're going to draw that in 30 seconds. So it'll be a bit of a fun race. And I'm going to change it up as we go. But yeah, I'll demonstrate without timer what I sort of want you to do. Essentially, you will just have your pen or pencil or whatever, and literally just draw out the shape as rough as you want of this cat. Oops, I've drawn too big. And then just add some eyes and a nose. And if you're working on paper, by the end of it, you should just have a whole piece of paper that just has these shapes of cats. And in fact, actually, I should have done that kind of thing. All right, so does that make sense? I'm going to open my drink while the delay catches up. Okay, 1 yes is good. So, great. All right, so we're going to do the first cat. I'm going to set the timer going. I'm going to draw it as well. In fact, I'm going to clear him. Okay, so first cat. Ready, set, go. Ooh, wrong brush. Ah! 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Next cat. Go. 30 seconds. Four, three, two, one. Next cat. Blob cats. Blob cats. Go. God, I feel like an idiot right now. Next one. Next cat. 30 seconds, go. I think this one's pretty. Oops. Hello, draw blob cats with us. Oh, time's up. Next one, next blob cat. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. How are we going? Having fun? I have no idea how to gauge what's happening out there. Next one. Ready? Go. I did that one a bit too quick. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the exact same thing, but try and keep your pen on the paper for the whole outline of the cat. You can take it off when you do the eyes, but just try to make it just one line, all right? Ready, set, go. Ah, messed that up. This is actually a bit hard to do on the iPad. Oh. Maybe that's a fail, actually. All right, now try doing it without looking at, I'm going to turn off my screen, without looking at your paper. So just look at the cat and draw without looking. Where's my iPad? I'll turn it off so you can't see it. Ready? Just looking at the cat, not looking at your pen. Go. You don't have to do one line if you don't want to for this one. Oops, I keep looking. All right, now do it however you like, really, but we're going to go down to 20 seconds. Ready? Go. 20 seconds. Whoa. Next cat. Go. 20 seconds. I'll put mine back up for you. Oops. What is that cat even doing? Go. 20 seconds. Okay, one more. Oh no, that's not a good one to end on. Alright, we'll do two more. I've missed this one. Alright, this one's the last one, alright? Ready, set, where's it gone? Go. Oh. Done. Congratulations. And that was Blobcats. How did you find it? Can anybody, if they're organized enough, can they send me their a picture of their Blobcats? We'll have a little break for a second. There's my Blobcats. So ridiculous. But the idea of that is to just get you drawing, stop you from worrying too much about getting things right. Well, it stops me from getting things right. Oh, good, I'm glad you had fun. Great. So next up, we if anybody wants to share their Blobcats, please send them through. But I will keep powering on with the schedule. Next, I just want to talk quickly about faces and expression. And these are just some things. I'm gonna change my background, so it's not as harsh. This is stuff that I've learnt about characters and facial expressions. Feel free to draw along with me if you like. I'm just going to sort of go through some different parts of the face. Obviously there's sort of three key things. I'm just talking about cartoony characters here, really. We've got eyes, noses, and mouths. Oops, I don't know how to spell. So, eyes, you've got tons of different ways to do them. You can literally just do them as dots. You could do them as circles with pupils like that. You could do them as sort of upside down U's. This kind of thing. Sometimes you could have fun doing them as squares, you know. Just do whatever you want. Even a square pupil, maybe. I don't know. Obviously lots of options there, but I still don't know why that's a zombie. It's not part of my theme. Anyway, obviously, anyway, sorry, I'll keep going. Noses, I think there's a key thing with noses in characters. As soon as you put a human-ish nose, that's terrible, you know, like this kind of nose on a character, it instantly makes them a human. So during this evening, I'm not going to really concentrate on humans. This is more about just weird characters. So if you think about animals, no animal has a nose like a human. It just, I find that whenever you add a nose to a character, it just instantly becomes like human in a certain way, you know. Whereas obviously animals have a very, like, that's a very varied part of their face. They've got like cats have the little nose that goes into their mouth, so do dogs too, that kind of thing. But that's, again, that's like more of a snout that sort of comes out rather than just this thing. But you've got, like, you know, koalas have big fat noses like that. Or you could do little nostrils, so it's more like a little snout kind of thing. Mouths, I think mouths are probably the most expressive part of the face. Obviously you've got smiles and frowns, but you can convey, I'm really not feeling like I'm right on the right angle, sorry. Excuse me, I'm going to sit down. That's better. Yeah, mouths you can really convey expression like anger, frustration, happiness. And you can also create variety in mouths with the way you draw the teeth and stuff like that. And even the way they have their mouth open, if they do have it open. Yeah, you can also do things like add little cheek inlets to make it look like it's sort of pushing through the cheek. Yeah, I think noses, I'll go onto it in a second, but essentially if you want to make a really cute character, usually just get rid of the nose. Like if you just draw two eyes like that and a mouth, that's really cute. I don't know why. But anyway, so you've got mouths that are can be very expressive, but eyes are the next sort of expressive thing, especially once you add eyebrows, obviously, because like this one here can change what is happening just by doing one eyebrow up and one eyebrow down. And similarly with the eyelids, you can make someone look like they're sleepy simply by adding some eyelids. What you can also do is, you know how they do the upside down U's for like happy eyes? The reason that looks happy is because it doesn't really do it for me, but you know some people when they smile, their cheeks actually go up and they actually push your eyes up. So if you ever want to make a character look happier, or if your character is not looking happy, what you can do is sort of add the cheeks pushing up on the eyes, even if their eyes are fully open, you know. Does that make sense? Because it looks like his mouth is now pushing up the cheeks. Yeah. So I just wanted to explain that. I know maybe it's really obvious to a lot of people, but we'll talk about snouts and, you know, beaks and things later, you know, when we're talking about form and stuff. But for now, if you have the templates I shared, I don't know if people have actually printed these out or are just going to use them as another layer. Definitely if your software has extra layers, then please, it's easier to use them. And so these spheres are basically the core of our head. I'm going to be just looking at characters' heads and faces in particular tonight. So all of that stuff about faces and expressions, I just sort of want you to keep that in mind. And what we're going to experiment with now is how you can get very different variations in a character simply by moving the elements around. So for each of these spheres, I'll just concentrate on this one for the moment. You'll see these darker lines just there and there. We're going to treat that as basically the center of the face. And when I say that, I actually mean the eyes, because it's very easy to think that our eyes are higher than they are, but our eyes are actually, in terms of our skull, like if you don't include our jaw, and you just, like if you think of this as the sphere, the eyes are very much in the center. So that will sort of be our anchor point. And we'll start by just doing some round eyes on these sort of intersections here. Actually, maybe sort of in a little bit more. So just draw a couple of eyes here. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll have a little nose down here. And a mouth, kind of looking like a cat at the moment. That's fine. Maybe he's looking over this way. Right, so you've already got the beginnings of a character, and keeping their face small actually makes them look younger as well, because you know how kids have big heads. But let's leave that for a second and go on to the next one. Now I want you to draw the same eyes or different eyes, I don't mind, whatever you like, but really push the eyes out. So, and also think about this sphere as a sphere, like try not to think of it as flat. So, you know, think about sort of putting discs on this sphere. So they will sort of like rotate a little bit as they go around the corner. But, you know, really push it, like maybe you'll go out to this bit here and draw an eye there, a black one, and this equidistant one over here. Then we're getting some really weird character, you know? And then you can maybe I'll put the nose higher for this one. Maybe I'll give him a bit of a snout. And big grin. With some rando teeth. But you can see how, like obviously he's a bizarre character now, but you're getting some variation just by pushing the eyes out to a different spot. So with the rest, what I want you to do now is just experiment with that. So try and keep this center line going down as the center of the face, but experiment with putting the eyes up really high, or I might do some big ones up here really close together. These are not going to look good, by the way. Like don't expect these to look any good. I might have him looking a bit like a tired eyes kind of thing. And then maybe his mouth's all the way down here. Maybe he's got a grumpy mouth. And I don't know, his nose is here somewhere. I'm just going to do a dot for the nose. Then try something else again, you know, like if you are willing to experiment, you could do like some eyes way out here. Let's go up here. So that's sort of the base of the eye, and the other one would almost be around the other side. But I might draw that like they're almost bulbous. So this one, I'm sort of thinking of it as another sphere. If you sort of look at, if I delete that, if you imagine this as another sphere coming out, like in a sense. I hope that makes sense. Another interesting thing with eyes is if you have smaller, if you show more whites of the eyes, they're going to look crazier. So because it looks like they're going like that. So if you either, you can, if they do look sort of crazy-eyed, too crazy-eyed, you can counteract that by making the pupil bigger, like, or the iris, I guess. Or you could actually just have them more of a lid, like have their lids sort of closed, like that. Don't worry too much about the nose. If you want to leave the nose off, then that's fine. But the point of this is just to show you how you can get so much variation just by changing things up. I'm doing a terrible job of shading. That was the other thing I should have said earlier. I'm no expert at this. I'm still learning it. I'm just, this is more about having fun and just sharing some knowledge. This last one, maybe I'll do the eyes. Obviously I'm still sort of keeping with the eyes, nose, mouth sort of hierarchy, but maybe I won't. Maybe with this one I'll have the mouth on top. No, that looks like it's upside down now. I don't know what's going on with that one. And for the last one, I'm going to just do some massive bug eyes. Just a tiny little mouth. See, if I do tiny little dots, it's crazy-eyed. Easy. And so once you've done that, maybe go back and add some bits and pieces to them. Like ears, this one's looking a bit cat-like. And I encourage you to think of the ears as, actually think of everything you're about to do in 3D. Try to think of it in 3D. So if I'm adding ears, maybe I'll along the sphere, that's where the ear's gonna start, and then it comes out like this. But to give it some thickness, it's sort of like coming out that way, you know? Maybe this guy has a little, maybe some bangs. Maybe this guy has some human kind of ears down here. Some earrings. Monobrow. Maybe he's got a beard. It's getting very human. I was steering away from human. Oh, thanks, JL. Is everybody enjoying themselves at least? I know it's very weird. I feel very weird doing this, but I feel weird because it feels kind of like distant. Oh, good. I'm glad. Oh, and I forgot to mention, obviously you don't need to use these templates. I just made them for ease of people. Like it gives you a sense of the sphere going around, so you can almost like move things around as you see fit. And you can kind of like figure out where things are symmetrical by doing this. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to share what they've done. If I get rid of these, actually I might. Quickly do this. But if anybody wants to share what they've done with the group, the class, they're more than welcome to send it to me. But we're sort of going to get onto some more fun stuff in a minute anyway. But yeah, essentially we've got these 6 weird characters, right? This guy's a bit weird. I feel like he needs a human. He needs to be a bit more human. I find it interesting. Anyway, so while hang on, got some of Jason Duke's blob cats. They're so cute. I love them. So next, what we're going to do, if you want to play around with those more, please feel free. But what I thought might be interesting for a little bit of a break, yes, I was experimenting with putting the hierarchy the wrong way around. If you're wondering why I'm making the background a bit of a darker color, it's because I find it too gross. And I think I'll just stick with blue. So what I thought might be interesting is to break down a famous character. So Pokemon, great reference if you ever want to look at characters and stuff like that. I picked a few that are already just round. For instance, Ghastly, just 1 second. If we look at his character design, they've essentially, so let's call this the center. They've got big angry eyes like that. Tiny little pupils. Again, crazy eyes. You can see that sort of like brought in the brow there as well. And even extended it past the eyes. And they've got the mouth right down the bottom. Again, notice they don't have a nose, which makes him cuter, in a sense, I think, even though he's an angry ghost Pokemon. And then if we look at another one, like, well, let's look at Pikachu. Classic example. So we're just looking at heads, right? Again, that we'll say that that side is the center of his head. So his nose is pretty much, oops. His nose is pretty much in the center. And then his eyes are almost in line with that, but quite wide apart and quite big. See? And he's got these cheek things. This is a terrible, I've done a terrible job, but you get the idea, right? It's just interesting how it all works. So now what I want you to do is, if you want to use these templates, by all means, move on to this individual one. The reason I made it an individual one is because I want you to start experimenting with almost sculpting out from this sphere. So you could do lots of things, but sort of thinking of this more as the core, like the skull almost, and then adding things to it, like I'll just get rid of Pikachu. Like adding mass to it. So maybe adding some sort of jowls kind of out this way, you know? So I'm sort of thinking of the face being around here somewhere, but it's kind of got, they've kind of got these big cheeks, right? And then same as before, adding your elements wherever you want, like maybe maybe they've got a big mouth like that. And then I don't know what I'm doing. I'll do another one. Maybe a snout, like if we say this is the center over here, so this is where they're facing, you could sort of say that you know, this sort of, like if you're thinking about the squares on the sphere, you could say that sort of section, imagine it coming out, right, like this, but then making that more organic. So that's very technical, but in reality it would sort of like be more rounded. So then essentially this, if you were to have this as a 3D polygon, this center line here would be coming across here and down here. So you're essentially just extruding this snout, right? So then you can put your little nose on the end here, and you got a little dog snout. This is obviously sort of the building blocks of doing a character, and eventually, if you do it more and more, you'll just you'll just do this naturally. Some eyes. FYI, it's easier to just have characters looking off to the side. If you want them looking straight at the camera, it's harder than it seems to achieve. And then because he's a dog, maybe he has ears. So again, I'm sort of trying to think of these as 3D shapes, right? And if I maybe it's a feminine dog. I might just quickly look at another case study, almost. Just turn it down a bit, because this is interesting where it comes in. It's not what I want to do. This character Bulbasaur. In fact, I might bring the photo in. So if you look at Bulbasaur, isn't he cute? With this sphere idea. This sphere would be kind of like in there somewhere. And so then they've sort of added this kind of triangular shape to him and these spiky bits. So that he's got sort of this triangular shape to his head, but the structure's still there, if that makes sense. He's got his little teeth as well. And when you're playing with this, if you really want to make a monster, you can. Like, you could have weird bits out the side, and that's actually where his eyes are. I don't know. This is a really bad idea. Then what happens with his forehead? Anyway, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. So how are we all going? How's everybody feeling? Obviously, we're just talking about the head here, but if you want to, you could think about how it goes into the body. Like, does it sort of go like, do they have a neck or not? You could add a bill to it. Get a duck. Give him some little I don't know. Let's have a little break, and if anybody's got any experiments they want to share, feel free to send them through. Next, we're gonna move away from the spheres, and we're just going to create a character. From scratch, but kind of with all this in mind. Yes. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm trying to think of some things I've discovered with characters. I found with a lot of characters that I've done, like a while ago when I did this character series, sorry, I just saw that. It was always good to reference an animal if I was drawing an animal. Like here, this koala. I could reference a koala and see where their nose sits and how big it is and what it kind of looks like, rather than trying to just come up with random bits of character out of my head. I find it's good to go from a starting point. So this series, it's a bit of a mess, but this series was created, the prompts were created from my followers, and I got them to use their initials as to create a character for me to draw. And the formula was that they needed to use their first initial as an adjective and their second initial as a noun. Yeah, that's right. And I wanted them to be as random as possible. So this one was my friend Cherie, and it was a creative robot because her initials are CR. So then I had to think about, well, what does a creative robot look like, you know? Which is cool, because rather than just me going like, oh, I'm going to create a character, it's like, actually, oh, I've got to create a robot and they've got this characteristic of being creative. So what does that mean and how do I show that? This one was MH, a morbidly obese battle horse. Technically morbidly obese is 2 words, but I let it slide because it was so cute. And this is where I think expression is important as well. For me, like I've never actually done like full character design stuff. Yes, there's a penis there. Sorry, PG rating. I've never done actual character design, as in like, I haven't done the full thing. I've just made these characters. I haven't made them for someone then to animate or do a whole comic book or whatever. This is just, I've always just done a character doing something. Like they're usually, well, I find it best if they're doing something. This one was an alcoholic mango. And you can see like his face having one of the eyelids on top and one of the eyelids on bottom. Just it just creates that feeling. And I've got his eyes uncrossed. I don't know what that's called. And his mouth is like a squiggle. I actually love character design. You can do so much with it. It's really fun. All right. Well, how are we going? Nobody sent anything through. Okay, let's just go power on. So what we're going to do now is, I'll do portrait one. I've got this random stuff. So I found a random animal generator, and a random object generator. So what I'm going to do is really dumb, but I'm going to randomize the animals, and I'm going to randomize the object, and I'm going to pick one thing from each thing, and I'm going to try and put them together. Is this dumb? I don't know. Let's see how it works. I feel like it's more just to get inspiration, right? So if you want to join in, or you just want to watch me, I'll take suggestions. A polar bear with a glow stick. I was actually thinking like a glow stick polar bear kind of vibe, like that, like actually mashing them together. So if you want to, I would encourage you to pick two things from these lists. Pick one animal, pick one object, and create your own character. Look at the images for, you know, how you would build their face. And yeah, I'm gonna do something. What am I gonna do? So you want a polar bear with a glow stick, or a reindeer with glow stick horns. My initial thing was a wombat snail, because I saw the snail shell. I'm going to do that. I do love the reindeer with glow stick horns, but that sounds like a bit intense. Chicken pin. You can draw these. So I'm going to do the wombat. This is my sphere, right? And you can see he's got this kind of snout that comes out like this, with his cute little nose. Cute. Does anybody need those up there? Otherwise I'll go full screen. Let me know if you want to go back to that. Now, what I'm sort of thinking about is size of things. I feel like his head's was too big, and I wonder if I should have him looking across his body. Just so that he's a bit more dynamic. Yeah. Oh, sorry. How am I feeling about another lockdown? Fine. Yeah, it's all right. I just I feel like I feel like I don't have the words. I feel like I don't know. Do you ever? Does anyone else have that? Where it's like the words don't come. It's not like you have a brain freeze, but you just can't actually think of the words. You know the words, but you can't bring them to mind. Anyway, I'll get that all up. Guess what? We're gonna make this this little guy purple, pink, magenta. Why? Because I want to. Yeah, I've kind of, like, I'm starting a new medication, so I don't think lockdown's a good time to do that. I technically I had today as annual leave, so I feel like I've sort of wasted my annual leave in a sense. And then I know it's only one day and it's a very privileged thing to say, but you know, it's still annoying. Does anyone have any questions around character design? The viewers have already sort of dropped off, so I'm not sure if anybody's actually following along, but it's fine. But I don't know if there's any thoughts, questions, comments. I know, it's very lovely. Thank you. I wonder if I could do like a... What sort of design do snails have on their shells? Ooh. That's pretty. It's a great question. A wamail. This is the Doge discussion all over again. I think a snombat or a snambat. Snambat? Woj. I like snambat. Actually, I prefer snombat. Anyway, whoops. Yeah, I mean, my initial reaction, because this is my theme at the moment, is to make him a giant snombat. but maybe it's getting a bit old. It's a great question. Or is he giant? I don't know. Who knows? See, in my palette that had this darker purple, but I don't like how unsaturated it is. I just love to go more saturated, especially in the shadows. I think it's because normally shadows are desaturated, and I am against anything normal, clearly. Toot. Ah, that's cute. I like that idea. Someone actually asked me if I could do a miniature series as well, because I've sort of been doing the ginormos, which I think could be cute. It's funny though, I feel like drawing tiny hot guys is weird. For some reason drawing giant ones is okay, but drawing little ones feels a bit weird for some reason. I have to unpack that with my therapist. Does anybody get that? Oh, you've missed all the fun. I'm just drawing a snombat, a snail and a wombat combined. Oh, speaking of, does anybody remember it was a cartoon, and it was these animals that were mixed together. Was it the Wuzzles? Something like that? I remember there was Bumble Lion, who was a bee and a lion. And there's all these other ones. I think it was the Wuzzles. Oh, by the way, we need to go and see the French Impressionists. And Goya, once lockdown's over. Oh, Butterbear. Snombat is the new cast member. I like it. Sometimes I just like to pull a colour into another colour. So when I do the shadows, I'll just pull it one way or the other. Really? Only 13 episodes? I felt like it was a whole thing. Well, I loved it so much. And there was Popples. Is that what they were? Popples. Does that sound familiar? And they turn into balls. They'd like turn inside it. The toys you could turn inside out and they'd become a ball. So his eye, right? I might to bring it into the world a bit more, I'll put some very subtle green. The bottom, like the leaf is reflecting on his eye, and then I'll do a very hard on a separate layer. Oops, too big. I've been doing this thing lately where I do an arc like this, and then I'll just eat into it with, oops, with the eraser. What does that do, you ask? I don't know. No, I think it makes it look like it's actually reflecting an image, I think. And you can actually, if you want something to look wetter, just add a bit of white to it. Maybe you could have a tiny little bit of green. Let's get some mood going on, right? You know I love my mood. I've realized that this is something I love and is just really indicative of my artwork. Like it's almost like a, I don't want to say a style, but you know, like playing with the light a lot is something that is important in my artwork, I think. It is. It is a bit. It's actually also a really handy way to just finish off a piece. Like it just adds it adds the depth and the it shows the form just by doing it. You get to understand more of the form of the creature, and also the texture as well. Like here, the reason he looks so furry is mostly because of this texture that you can add with the light. Doesn't quite work there. That's all right. Yeah, it does have a Quality Street vibe to it, doesn't it? Might smudge some of these. Is it just because of the color? It's just because of the color. The draw along portion is kind of over now. Oh, Gillian. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm thinking of it. Oh, come on. That is not a straight line, it's an arc. Ooh, that's some mighty fine colors. Oh, so this should be cool actually. So you know how I've spoken before about subsurface scattering with regards to like when there's light coming from behind the ear, how you can kind of see the red. You can kind of see through the surface to the subsurface. Well, here's a great example of doing it with something that isn't skin, actually, because it will work with this. That's too intense. It will work with this leaf, I reckon. But instead, because when you do it with skin, you use bright red because that obviously the color of the flesh and blood is red. But if you're doing it with a leaf or something else, obviously the internal workings of a leaf are not blood. So you would want to use a green, and I think you would want to just go really softly opaque and maybe bring it in there. I don't know. A bit too much. sort of want to bring it through where the light is sort of permeating through the leaf more. And what it'll do is help give it that glow. See? Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. I don't care what you think. Alright, Snumbat. You don't need to be there anymore. I think he's done. Let's just sign in. And do a time lapse, why not? For a bit of fun. Snumbat eats quality street chocolates. I don't know if I want to look back on this evening. I feel like it wasn't a roaring success, but it was alright. Let's have a look at Snumbat playback. But you can see how I worked out the head in a similar way to what I was trying to teach everyone earlier. Sort of pulling out the form of the sphere. That's a pretty quick one. It's not bad. Done. Well, thanks so much for joining in. I hope at least you had fun doing blob cats. That's always fun. I did get sent some. I'll share them. Drop. I don't know if Jason is watching. But there's his lovely blob cats. I love them. See, almost these you could just turn into a character, pretty much. Oh, great. Anyway, that's the end of the evening. Thank you so much for joining in. I will see you around. I don't know if I'll do another stream tomorrow night. I might if I'm feeling bored. Have a lovely rest of the evening, and I will see you very soon.